22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Welcome. AJ can't hear you. Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome to the People Before Politics show, Black Westchester Magazine. And I am Damon K. Jones. This is AJ Woodson. Still can't hear you, my brother. Hold on. You got to take yourself off mute. Nope.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
All right, that's what's up. Welcome. Yo, before we get started, Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show, episode number 411. I want to give a quick shout out to all the sports heads out there. Last night, the Yankees made it to their 41st World Series. They won 28 titles, so they made it to the World Series for the 41st time. Tonight, if the Mets win, it will be a Mets Yankees World Series, but the Mets got to win tonight. It'll be a Subway Series. Shout out to the New York Liberty for you WNBA fans. If they win tonight, they will bring the first WNBA championship to New York. And shout out to my New York Knicks, whose season starts on Tuesday when they play the world champions, the Boston Celtics. Oh, yeah, and for my Yankee fans, this is for the Yankee fans, the Yankee shirt, yeah. So I just wanted to get all that out. Shout out to all the sports heads. And also, last night was also a great night. Mary J. Blige was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So shout to her. Big accomplishment. Also, a Tribe Called Quest. They were the lone hip-hop group to get in. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame don't really show a lot of love all the time to hip-hop. So the fact that they got this one right. Shout out to Tribe Called Quest. Rest in peace to my brother Phife Dawg. So, and is there anything else? I think that's all for sports and entertainment on the top. I just want to get all of that out real quick.
All right, that's good. Excuse me. I want peace and blessings, everybody. And the fragrance of course, I have to try to get centered here. I don't know what the hell's going on. The fragrance of the day. Fragrance of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to get this thing centered. Yep. The fragrance of the day is Latapa Pride Pizza. This is the fragrance of the day, and we'll have the link that you could get this. Sisters, this is a great smell. This is a great smell. And it's the top notes are bergamot, mandarin, lemon. The heart notes is cedarwood and cologne, whatever that is. The base is sandalwood and dry amber. This is a nice, fresh, smelling, long-lasting fragrance that y'all sisters can definitely buy for your gentlemen. Holidays times is coming up, or birthdays or anything. You could definitely get this. It's the Pisa. Looks like the Tower of Pisa, except it doesn't go to the side when you lay it down. It's straight up. So, but this is great. Comes with a decent atomizer. So it's long lasting. The sillage is about 2 hours, and it lasts about between, depending on your skin, you could get 6 to 8 hours out of this. 6 to 8 hours. Around 3 hours, it turned into a nice body scent. Sisters, you will definitely like this. It's a very fresh smelling fragrance. So we're definitely every Sunday we're gonna do the flavor of the scent of the day. And I'm gonna have some female perfumes on here too. You don't have to kill your pockets to smell good. You know, we've been conditioned to actually buy labels all the time, but smelling good, there's no label in smell goods. Either you smell good or you don't. It doesn't have a label. It doesn't have a label. So definitely check this out. We're gonna put the link, and you can get this right on Amazon, which is really dope. You get this right on Amazon, have it to you in 3 days. It's a great gift for someone in his late teens, 20s, all the way up to adults. So check it out. It's called the Top of Pride Pizza.
All right. Now, for all of us that are not chemists and don't know what the hell half of those things you said is a dope fragrance, reasonably priced. Basically, that's what you're saying.
No, absolutely, and it's fresh. It's a fresh. It's a fresh smelling, like citrusy scent. You know, you could get it. You could wear it. I wouldn't wear it in the cold winter time. There's other. You want to get the real darker cognac scents for the winter, but this is a nice scent to have. It's a nice scent for men to wear to the gym. It's a nice scent for a man to wear around the house, you know, when he's chilling. But when it gets cold, you want to get the more coffee and the dark almond scents, or the nice heavy oud scents for the winter time. And we'll talk about that as we go on. I'm going to definitely get into the winter scents, the nice dark chocolate joints that people will like, very mature.
Okay. Shout out to Brenda,
I love my scents, man.
Shout out to Brenda, who's bringing me a plant-based crab cake bite. Like she's off the screen right now. So.
You try to make that announcement.
Shout out to Brenda, keeping my man healthy.
Hey.
Keeping my man healthy.
So I'm about to taste this on the air. Oh, that's good. We have a little special sauce. It's a plant-based crab cake bite. Everybody knows that I'm on my little healthy journey, healthier me. So thank you very much. Love it.
You want to put sauce on it?
Mm-hmm.
So I want everybody to check out, if you're watching, please check out Black Westchester Magazine. We got a lot of good, nice articles on there. We're going to have coming up as a guest Tasha Young, who is actually going to discuss New York Prop 1. There's a lot of stuff going on about New York Prop 1. A lot of people is for it, and I found out doing some research about it, a lot of people are against it. So we're gonna have the conversation so people can make a decision at the polls. And when you vote on those props, remember, ladies and gentlemen, you have to turn it over. After you vote for your elected official, a lot of the props are on the other side. So don't forget to do that, whether you for or against. I'm not saying be for it or against it. I'm just saying when you go to the voting booth, you maximize your vote and always turn over the election sheet because a lot of times there's state laws on the back that people actually forget to vote on.
Yep.
And then you wonder why something happens. And they said, well, last November we had the law and people voted against it, so it's not happening. So
it's good. It's good to have these conversations because a lot of time people only find out when they get to the ballot box, and the people that gave them the ballot turn it over, and they tell them to turn it over, and then they like reading it for the first time, like, oh damn, what should I vote? Yes or no? Because they don't know nothing about it. They wasn't told about it ahead of time. They don't even. They're just seeing it for the first time, not sure what to do. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. And Cynthia Turnquest Jones, shout out to her. She called me earlier today. And I didn't know we would get ready to talk about that, saying we need to have a conversation. We need to put something up in Black Westchester about Prop 1 and what it's all about. So I just texted her to let her know we're going to be talking about it on the show today.
Yeah. Oh, yep. And like I said, in my research, there's some pros and there's people that are for it and people that are against it. And we are we are definitely going to have Tasha Young on, who is supporting Prop 1. I was surprised to see there's a couple of organizations out there when I Googled Prop 1 that are actually against it. I didn't know that, right? So, but we're going to talk about that. And, one of the fact sheets, I'm going to bring it up to Tasha and see what she says.
You know how Brenda used to be online and she used to always give us information as she just walked in here and gave me the she just walked in here and gave me the
information. Have to post the link. She just give it to you.
Right. She just walked in and said, here you go. She heard us from the hallway. So yeah.
So the goal is that, our goal is always to inform. That's it. Just to inform. Sometimes you like what we say, and sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, we're just informing you, so you can make the decision that fits your life. That's what it's all about, is what is your interest? Sometimes your interest, and I know for a fact, some people's interest is not for the greater interest of the people. They're just for their personal interest. And usually we vote for what has affected us personally. So we make those type of decisions, and we don't look and research and see, the greater advantages or disadvantages of the choices that we make. So, we're just as Black Church. Hey, Alita, how you doing?
Hey, Alita, how you doing?
We're just trying to, give the information to the people, and y'all do whatever y'all want to do with it at the end of the day.
I mean, and that's the whole purpose since we started this 10 years ago, to hopefully make y'all more informed voters when y'all hit the ballot box. At least y'all know more about what's going on. The choice is yours. You do what you feel that you need to do for you and your family, your community, but you walk in there a little more informed. A lot of our leaders, unfortunately, have benefited from our community being uninformed or straight out misinformed. So we try to educate people to things like this. At least you know what it is when you go into the ballot booth. You're a little more informed and make educated choices and not just guesses. When it comes to your community, what can benefit your community and your family. Word up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we just have to.
So before we get into our guests, yesterday was another big anniversary, right? The 9-year anniversary of Cupcake, Cutie Boutique.
Yeah.
I believe you was in the house. You want to talk about that briefly real quick? Giving them a shout out. How the anniversary went. It
went well. We had a lot of people there. They came and they bought and they supported Cupcake Cutie Boutique. And my wife, my daughter, my family, thanks everybody that came out and supported. You have 2 Black women that are running a business for 9 years. That's it's not hard to do, especially when both of them have full-time jobs and other.
Not easy to do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you said it's not hard to do. It's not easy to do. I just want to.
Well, oh yeah, it's not
Yeah.
easy to do. Yeah, it's very not easy to do. My bad. My mind was like, man, it's hard as hell. But yeah, so it was a great event, and thanks to all the people that's coming out, and they're getting ready to have do some really great things in 2025 for the business and for the community of Mount Vernon and in the greater Westchester community and in New York community. They're going to be stepping up the game on the Cupcake game, and it's going to be a great thing. And when that is all come out, we're definitely going to write about it and talk about it. But people, if you definitely go to follow Cupcake Cutie on Instagram, and if you need any type of sweet desserts, cakes, birthday cakes, um, if you got bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, whatever type of event, yeah, man, she's catered, she's catered bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. So whatever type of event that you have, and you're looking to have some sweet treats, some cakes and cupcakes and candy apples and all type of stuff, man. Chocolate covered Rice Krispies, cupcakes with alcohol infused, all these great treats. Just go over to Cupcake Cutie on Instagram and holler at them, and they'll definitely take care of you. And tell them Damon sent you, so
Yeah.
that so they know that I'm really bigging them up. I'm just ain't talking, you know. I'm just ain't talking. I'm bigging them up, because they're doing a great job, and I'm proud of it. I'm definitely proud of it for continuing. I'll leave it at that. I was gonna go deeper into some other stuff, but I'll leave it at that.
No. So shout out to Cupcake Cutie celebrating their 9-year anniversary. Thursday night, I was at the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus, had their 48th anniversary cocktail reception, and MSNBC legal analyst and civil rights attorney and former New York City mayoral candidate Maya Wiley was there with her new book. It was good to meet her and hear her speak. And also on Black Westchester, for your reading, there was Lanez, who writes for us. She attended Dear America, a letter from Black women, a film that demands our attention. Definitely good read. Make sure you check that out. She went there and she discussed the film, and that's also on the front page of Black Westchester. I think that's all the shout outs, all the congratulations, all that kind of stuff. Was trying to get all that stuff out the way. Make sure I forgot. But yeah, most of the stuff you hear us talk about, if you check blackwestchester.com, you will definitely see it on there, and you can read and follow that stuff. Make sure if you are watching us on YouTube, of course, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on IG, and I believe we're on X. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave us comments, let us know, you know what I'm saying, what you think about the topics we're discussing, ask questions, whatever. We would like to get more community engagement going. Sometimes a lot of people watch and then they call us and text us later telling us what they thought about the show. Like, nah, hit us with some comments, engage with us on the air. You know what I'm saying? To help keep us going. And that also helps the algorithms when, you see a lot of comment.
Right.
Stuff. So
right.
You don't have to agree with us, but, be respectful if you are not agreeing, because this is not that type of show. So you're just going to come on here and scream on us. But, you don't have to agree with us. If you disagree, respectfully disagree, and we can talk about that too. So,
So I wanted to address something, man. So I put up a post, and AJ called me about it, and I said I wasn't, but I think I decided to address comments of this gentleman on an article that I wrote about the spending of FEMA on migrants. Now, when that first came out, there was a lot of people that stated that it wasn't true. And I even got calls from elected officials saying, Brother Damon, that's not true. But then I did my own research because you could trust, but always verify. Even the information that we give you on Black Westchester, if you trust us, we tell you always verify. And that was one of the greatest sayings from former President Ronald Reagan: trust and verify. So there's an organization that actually advocates for migrants, and it's called the Center of Immigration Studies, which it details the money that FEMA spent on dealing with the migrant crisis. See, we gotta deal with truth, and it details the money that was dealing with the migrant crisis. So and anyone can go to their website. They could go to their website. It is the Center of Immigration Studies. So I say that to say, in the Black communities throughout, especially in Chicago, they are dealing with a Black crisis, which the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois seems that they just don't want to solve the problem. So they're pushing back on their elected officials because they see a lot of money diverted that should go to the Black community is not going to the Black community, and is going to the migrant situation, which Black people in Chicago have a problem with. And I don't blame them. And they're standing up against for what's going on. Because imagine you living in the old projects that needs to be fixed, and then you watch people get to your city and they build new housing for them that's better than your housing. You will have a problem, especially if you're paying taxes. Especially if you are putting in the community what you're supposed to do. And just because you live in the projects doesn't make you a failure. It just says you just don't make as much money as other people do. But when you've been fighting for good housing, and then new people come in and they get good housing and they get money to even buy homes, which you don't get, you will have a problem with that. Like, I don't understand how people feel that Black people shouldn't have problems with that. I really don't understand. And then they feel that we shouldn't push back against that, especially around election time. There's no other better time to push for your interests other than election time. Because once the person get in, you're going to have to wait 4 more years to push for it, because they really don't have to do it if they don't have to. Now, myself and AJ know there's elected officials that say this and say that, and when they get in, they do the total opposite. But that's the life of politics. So a young gentleman went on and said that I was spreading rumors and giving false information. So I had to respond with that. I had to respond with that report from immigration advocates on the money that was spent from FEMA. So when the hurricanes come and they say they don't have any money, and then they tell us, well, that's not the line budgeted. they also had a video of the press secretary, the sister, when she said what money FEMA was moving over to the migrant crisis. So, I mean, we need to have honest conversations on situations, because there are a lot of Black communities throughout the United States, but the most vocal one is the Chicago Black community, who is definitely speaking out against them not getting the proper services. Do you know, even over in Illinois, they was talking about making the immigrants police officers?
I ain't hear nothing about that, so I got to look into
it. Yeah. Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about it too. Police officers. Are you kidding me? We got to deal with it. We got to deal with the problem. Absolutely. But we still have to look out for the other people that have been fighting for needs. And, you know, this is a Black platform. I don't know what people are thinking. This is a Black platform, and our logo is giving news from a Black point of view. And we have to, it is our job to speak out when Black communities are suffering. And we have turned our struggle into everybody else's struggle, and we still come last. We still come last.
So I Googled it. AP, the AP put up a fact check that Illinois will allow some non-citizens to be police, but only those authorized to work and have a gun. It says there's a claim that there's a new law in Illinois to allow immigrants living in the country illegally to become police officers. AP's assessment that is false. The law allows.
No, I never said a law.
No, I'm just telling you.
No. I never said a law.
But it says allows. Okay, so let me finish. Yeah. So it only allows non-citizens to apply to be police officers. This includes lawfully permanent residents or green card holders, not immigrants that just came over here illegally. So I just wanted to be just so
right,
we have
right. No, right. But I'm not talking about a law. Basically, Dr. Umar was talking about the discussion of it to move forward with that. Now, if they got that, I mean,
the claim was online that there is a new law that is allowing immigrants.
Well, no, we didn't talk about the new law. Well, I mean, look, I hope they don't do it, because it's unconstitutional. They can't do it. I mean, they can't do it.
The governor said that the governor said that it will allow legal immigrants to become police officers and sheriffs. Once it's taken place, people who so there's no illegal alien. There's a whole debate. Ron DeSantis is in on it. There's a whole bunch of people debating the thing back and forth.
Yeah.
So as of what I'm reading, just to be clear, because I didn't hear anything about it.
I heard Dr.
It doesn't allow illegal immigrants.
Right. I heard Dr. Umar talking about it, but it wasn't a law. He said they were discussing it. So
they're discussing whether they should or not, and it does not include illegal immigrants. Though that's the only thing I want to be clear on information. If something like this happened, it would be green card holders, those kind of immigrants. But those are legal. Those are legal residents. They're just immigrant. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It wouldn't be illegal.
I don't understand why they're still, and this is part of the Black community's problem. We glorify drug dealers, but we don't glorify public servants. We have a culture that glorifies drug dealers, former drug dealers. They're making a big deal that Big Meech is coming out of jail. So what? So what? They glorified Frank Lucas. And I know, and I know a lady that lived in Harlem at the time of Frank Lucas. And she was just so upset. But regardless of the fact, if the police are disconnected, from the community, whose fault is that? We don't take over the police department in our community.
Well, I think he's been advocating for more police from the community.
Right. We have to.
That's what Rodney's been advocating for.
Yeah, we have to. We should take over every police department that polices a black community. The black people should take over the police department. And I'm not talking about by force, running in there like January 6th.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not gonna, just for the record, that's not going to go good for any black community.
No, I don't want nobody to misconstrue what I'm saying.
That's not going to go good.
I'm talking about we have to. I've heard parents tell their children they shouldn't become a police officer, and they're broke. And they're broke as a joke. And they're telling their children not to take the police test, not to take the correction test, not to take the court officer test. And the parents are broke.
With no benefits.
If you want to take over your community, brothers and sisters, join the police department. But the key is when you join, don't lose yourself into the police culture. That's the secret sauce. Because a lot of black officers get in there and then they lose themselves to the police culture. We need young brothers and sisters that get in there and remain in their blackness by any means necessary. See, for 33 years, I remained in my blackness. I didn't let that badge fool me on who I was. But a lot of young brothers and sisters get lost in that. And as a community, we need to hold them accountable. That once they get in there, it's their responsibility to protect and serve, but they're also the responsibility to represent who they are. But I think every police department in the black community need to be flooded with applications from people in the community.
Right, because you can't complain about something and you telling your people, oh, don't join that. Don't become part of that. Then you can't complain when you have the opportunity to be in there and make a difference. I mean, sometimes you have to be part of the situation to make a difference. We got to stop being in the situation throwing rocks from the outside. The only thing you're gonna do is break a window. You're not changing nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and don't be scared, man. Don't be a scared black cop or black law enforcement officer or black correction officer, black court officer. Don't be scared. See, I say that because I came up when I got the job in 1990. There were brothers that was in law enforcement that came out of the Black Power movement and the civil rights era. They were on their tail end. So the attitudes of black cops were a lot different than they is now. And I get that. And a lot of times, young black officers don't even know their history in law enforcement. There's officers that don't even know that the jail is named after a black man, Noah D. Jackson, in Westchester County.
Yo, until you told me that 10 years ago, I never knew that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. It was Valhalla. It was just Valhalla.
Yeah. And I told County Exec King Jenkins, and I'm about to write a letter. Black History Month, I'm writing a letter to the county exec and the county legislators that they have to make sure that the people that are in charge of the county jail respect that man's name. And when they pick up the phone, they don't say, Westchester County Jail, may I help you? They say, Norwood E. Jackson Correctional Facility, how may I help you, sir? Or how may I help you, ma'am? Put respect on that black man's name.
And he was what, the first black commissioner or something?
He was
like
the
that?
only black commissioner.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Ain't no first.
No.
Only.
I was saying that because
commissioner.
most people don't know who the man was, why it was named after.
Right. Norwood E. Jackson. No, listen, we every Black History Month, we post Norwood E. Jackson's resume. And there ain't been a commissioner since that had a resume as Norwood E. Jackson. He was a professional football player for the Cleveland Browns. He ran the jails. He ran the jails for the United States Army, I believe. He was a petty officer, correction officer, and commissioner. So, we have to respect that man. And when and it's disrespectful when you pick up the phone and you don't say what the facility's name is. Norwood E. Jackson Correctional Facility. At the time, he was the highest ranking black law enforcement official in Westchester County. And died, and when he was buried with honors in Arlington Cemetery. So we have to understand our history in this. And he was no joke. He was a community man. He was a God-fearing man. So he was there. And we have to respect, but we have to look at that. And we have to aspire to be that when we're in law enforcement. Instead of just getting a job and working some overtime and not giving back to the community the way we should, and not addressing the actual issues that's in our community from the perspective of being a black law enforcement professional.
First African American to assume leadership of a major criminal justice agency and government of Westchester County.
And the last.
Right.
No. Well, Rayner is an official law enforcement.
Right,
yeah. Right.
And he just became the official commissioner. He was acting commissioner for over 2 years. I was
so wait. Norwood E. Jackson died in 1995, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are in what?
2024. And Terrence Rayner just got appointed. He just became the official commissioner. He was acting commissioner for 2 years.
What was that? 30? What's that? Damn. What is that? What is that? 30 years later? 40 years later? That's 40 years later? Are you kidding me?
29 years.
Yeah. Well, fucking 30 years. It's 30 years later.
I see our guest is here. I did want one more thing. I definitely said I was going to shout out, and it's a friend of the family, friend of the show. So the United Baptist Church is hosting a free chronic health prevention workshop with Dr. Cedric. You've definitely seen Dr. Cedric on Black Westchester.
Absolutely.
He's come through when Damon had the health thing at Mount Vernon Public Library. So this will be Saturday, October 26th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 31 Manhattan Avenue. And I'll put a link up where you put the flyer up and everything, where you could register and all that. But definitely, this the United Baptist Church Health and Wellness Ministry. Want to definitely shout it out as I am on my health journey right now, my journey to a healthier me. And Damon has really been, really talking about, trying to educate people on being healthier and, some of the chronic diseases we have and the more medication that they keep putting us on and all that stuff, and how eating can help that. So definitely go check out Dr. Cedric. He'll have his new book there, and he's a wealth of information. He, like I said,
Yeah, very good brother.
He's been on the show a few times, and he came and spoke at Mount Vernon Public Library. So again, that's United Baptist Church, 31 Manhattan Avenue, Saturday, October 26th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you can, go check it out. Listen to the brother. Get his book too, and we need that stuff in our community, more of that in our community. And with that, we have our guest. I see her flipping her hair. I think she's ready now. Mrs. Tasha Young. What's going on, Miss? How are you doing?
Oh, it's so good to be here. Thank you. It's good to see you all.
No doubt. So I hear you coming on to talk about Prop 1 and what that's about. And I just got the document myself. I'm sitting here. I was just reading it for the first time. It's the first time I really read anything about it.
Oh, okay.
I know they were talking about all I knew is the legislators wanted to extend their term limits. That's the only thing I knew. I didn't know anything about the unequal.
Exactly. Yo, wait. Exactly. We hear nothing about the extra. The only thing we heard about Prop was the legislators wanted to extend their term limits.
From 2 to 4. Yeah.
Look, even the legislators ain't put nothing else about Prop. I'm blowing all y'all up. Oh, vote for Prop 1 so we can extend this term limits. And I have to listen. If you did not know if there's anything else in there, you would just think that that's what all Prop 1 was about, because that's all the legislators are putting up.
Well, I'm gonna just read this real quick, and then we'll let Tasha really go in on it.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. The proposition would protect against unequal treatment based on ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, and sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, or pregnancy. It also protects against unequal treatment based on reproductive health care and autonomy. A yes vote puts these protections in the New York State Constitution. A no vote leaves the protection out the Constitution. And Tasha, take it away. I don't know. I just want to set that up for you.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is. We are voting. We have to flip our ballot over. And this is a statewide proposition to amend the New York State Constitution. We want to expand rights, reproductive rights. Abortion is on the ballot. It's not in the language of the proposal, but this is the way that we can put in our Constitution a woman's right to choose how she gets pregnant and any kind of pregnancy outcomes. And this is for anyone who can get pregnant. So if there are people that identify as non-binary and don't identify as a woman, they will still be covered. That's why we had to expand it to sexual orientation and gender identity. So abortion is on the ballot. I want to be clear about that. But also IVF, contraceptives, anything that leads up to pregnancy and any pregnancy outcomes. We also are making sure that there's no discrimination based on national origin, because sometimes people that are pregnant that come from different nations are discriminated against because of that. And also age can no longer be discriminated against. So if you're challenged by technology like I might be, and you work with younger people that are not challenged by technology, there can be no discrimination based on your age. We can really protect ourselves against that, and also as well as disability. So I like to think of it like this. We know that the women's movement has been trying to codify abortion. First, we saw that in the 70s. But also in the 70s, we saw that women who were Native American, Black, and Puerto Rican also wanted to have the right to have children and not be forcibly sterilized. When these women spoke up in Washington, their mics were turned off because white women wanted to make sure we had safe, legal abortion, and they didn't want to, confuse the message by talking about forced sterilization. So in that instance, women of color were left behind. Our voices were not heard. Go back further into the last century, way, way, way back when, in the last turn of the century, in the 1900s, during the suffragette movement, there were women, black and white. Sojourner Truth would be a black woman. We had Ida B. Wells. All these women that fought for the women's right to vote. But once the fight was advanced, only white women walked away with that right. So I had to bring that historical context in, because this time we want to make sure equal rights are for everyone. We do not want anyone left out.
Absolutely. And, I just want to say real quick. So, Tasha, I was down when we all went down to Washington for for the voters' rights and all of that. And I was saying then, that they got to keep voting on that every so many years so we can have the right to vote. But I was saying then, while people were taking that as, oh, that's just a black issue, I was saying back then, this is bigger than a black issue, because no matter what it is that you're fighting for, if your vote doesn't count or you don't have the right to vote, it don't matter what you're fighting for, you won't get it because you won't have the right to vote or be able to vote people in that represent you who can pass those things. And this is case in point. Right after that, I told people they're not going to just stop there. They're going after Roe v. Wade. Everybody said, no, that's just a black thing. And they paid no attention to me. They went after Roe v. Wade. And just reading this, like I said, unequal treatment based on ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, and pregnancy. And it protects against the unequal treatment based on reproductive health care and autonomy. Basically, that's what everybody who listens to us is fighting for, one of those things.
Period. Right?
Right. And if we had lost the right to vote, we wouldn't be having this conversation because we couldn't vote for this stuff.
That's right.
So that's why we need to fight for that. That's what I was saying as far as that whole right to vote thing. And that's why I went to that march on Washington. We lost Tasha. I think she got a bad connection. I'm sure she'll be back. But yeah, that's what I was saying back then when me and Dr. Bob went down there and we met, the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus, sister, and all the busloads of Westchester, mostly women that went down there. And this is what it boils down to. And it's everything. This includes almost everything. Everybody listening to us is fighting for one of those things. So, no matter how you feel, shout out to Dr. Bob. Like I said, Dr. Bob, me and him drove down. We went and made a weekend of it. My sister lived in Northern Virginia, so we just made a whole weekend of it. Went down there to my sister's house, drove back up Saturday to DC, drove back to my sister's house and chilled for the weekend. But yeah, that's why I went down there to cover that, and this is what I was talking about then. And since then, you've seen all of those things come under attack one at a time, and it's not over. So I'm not preaching about who to vote for. Just, listen to what people are talking about. And when people are talking about certain things, that might not be a good person to vote for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about on the local level, the county level, the state level, the national level, across the board. So we need more educated, informed voters. So at least when you hit the box, you know what you're doing. And you know why you're doing it. Not just somebody told you something or you heard something. Just why you're doing it. Again, the vote is yours. Whatever you feel, you got the right to feel, and you got the right to support whoever you want. But that's all of that. Hopefully Tasha will come back soon. But I wanted to add that on to what she was saying. You must be muted, Damon. You are muted. Yeah.
Man, we done went over everything. Where's our guest?
Right. Yeah, she did disappear. She did disappear.
Well, tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. From the publisher's desk. Let me see if I can put it up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see if I can put it up. Well, tune in tomorrow, man. Y'all got to tune in tomorrow as from the publisher's desk as we're going to talk about we're gonna have a quick discussion on what does this mean going forward. The killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar's death, and what does it mean for the gods of war? This is from the publisher's desk. This is be tomorrow at 8 p.m. You know, I'll be going live to discuss that, and tune in tomorrow, because we have to start looking at how international policy of America, how does it affect us? Because a lot of people are still have issues with what went on in Palestine, and I admit I am definitely one of them. And I think the International Court of Justice was looking at Sarwar, who just been killed by Netanyahu. They was looking at Sarwar and Netanyahu as violating human rights and genocide. So now Netanyahu has killed his co-conspirator, according to the International Court of Justice and according to the warrants that they were looking to put out for both of them. So now it's just him by himself. And we got a question: is he going to stop? Is he going to use this as a means to get back the hostages on both sides? Because they're hostages on both sides. A lot of people don't know that. So to make the swap and broker peace and allow the Palestinians to govern themselves. Are they going to do that, or are they just going to continue to demolish that whole area of Palestine and Gaza? So that's the conversation we want to have tomorrow, because it affects us. We're spending billions of dollars on war over there of our tax dollars, and we still have homeless veterans. We still have homeless people. We still have people that can't afford food or clothes because twice a week I feed people, working people, come to get bags of food from the pantry, and they come get clothes and diapers and female products that we give out. So people are struggling, and they question why we spend so much money on other countries when our country itself is imploding. I don't give a damn what side of the aisle that you're on, Democrat or Republican. The facts are the facts. Our country is imploding. Infrastructure is falling apart throughout America. Educational system is horrible. But we continue to rely on their educational system. Mount Vernon has 300 houses of worship. How many houses of worship has a school? How many houses, AJ, how many houses of worship actually has a school?
A school?
A school.
I don't know if Bishop Edwards is a school or a daycare, but it's the only one I can think of right now. I'm not sure that they are the only one, but it's the only one that came to my mind right now.
All right. Right. One school, but I only think they go up to like the second and third grade. But I'm talking about
I think that might be more daycare-ish.
It's more daycare-ish. But I'm talking about a school where you could go from the first grade to 12th grade and graduate. How many? Okay, so how many synagogues have schools? Damn near all of them, right?
I don't know.
Well, majority of them do. They don't go to our schools, right? So see, this is what I'm saying. We have to start. America, sooner or later, is going to make us do for ourselves, which we are still not doing. We spend $2 trillion as consumers, and our churches are billion dollar businesses. And we still don't educate ourselves. We still don't have pockets of Black businesses in Black communities, because you look around, right?
We don't support the Black businesses that are there.
Well, regardless of the fact,
Yeah.
but that's part of culture.
Yeah.
That's our culture, that we don't support our own businesses. The Irish do, the Asians do, the Jews do, the Italians do. They all do it.
Hispanics do.
The Hispanics do. They could come across the border 2 weeks ago, and by the time they get settled in, they found their community. They opened up a grocery store. They opened up a laundromat, and they're self-sufficient. The next thing you know, they grab a garage. Now they're mechanics working on the cars that their community has.
And they take over the landscaping business. They got landscaping routes. I seen that in Long Island.
Listen,
They
up here they
run
do
landscaping.
Up here it's nothing but construction,
Right.
and they do a good job, because I just hired a bunch of them.
Yeah, they do. In Atlanta, when I was even in Georgia, they landscaping
And not saying that they're migrant, but
and all that. Yeah,
exactly. We don't do that as Black people. We don't do it. We're about to have 500,000 job openings in electricians and plumbers. 500,000. And I don't see Black communities, I don't see school boards readying our children for those jobs, because those jobs make a lot of money. They make more money than some people with a lot more money than people with college degrees. I'm going to say more money, a lot more. And you start our own business, and you employ other people. And I don't see them preparing our children for these jobs, because not everybody's going to go to school, college. We already know that. That's a fact in the Black community. But we're not preparing our children. Every time we get behind the 8 ball. I mean, listen, I remember coming up, they said, "Yo, you better make sure you learn Spanish. Spanish is going to be the second language in America." When I was going in high school.
Yeah, the early mid to 80.
Yeah. They were telling us, "Yo, make sure you doing this. Make sure you learn Spanish." And I'm like, "Man, I ain't learning no Spanish, man. I'm trying to learn English."
Yo, that's crazy, because we were told that. And I'm just gonna be honest. Yo, I took Spanish, but I only took enough Spanish. There was this beautiful girl that came to class, and she couldn't speak much English. I took Spanish to get to talk to her.
But I remember all that, right? And now look.
Yeah.
Now look, when you take a police test, right? They give you extra points if you could speak another language.
When you go for a lot of jobs, they ask you. That's one of them things. Can you speak another language? Yeah.
Exactly. So we fell behind the 8 ball on that. When the computer industry started really growing, they said, "Make sure y'all learn how to code. Make sure y'all learn how to do this." Remember, they were talking about that. We lost on that one. We lost on that one. We've always been behind on the vocational, even though we had a lot of opportunities to be, because they were pushing to the Black community college and not pushing vocation.
For those who were not college bound.
Exactly. And not pushing vocation. And we fell behind on that. Now AI's here. And Negroes is doing this. Watching what other people are creating with AI and getting paid for it. Negroes is this. But they're not creating what's on it. We're going to fall behind again.
I mean, it's no secret that the system was set up for us to be consumers and not producers. But at some point, we've known that for a while. We have to change our mind state and our mind frame. And maybe it's too late for some of the older generations, but we need to be pushing for younger generations to get these tools and everything, because they're the future. I did want to I promised Lorraine, shout out to Lorraine Lopez, who just had a birthday last week. There's something she's been fighting for a while. As far as the park, naming of the parks in Yonkers, and there was no park named after anybody.
Why did she come on the show?
I don't know. She sent me the press release earlier. So anyway, so tomorrow they're having a press conference announcing that there's a park. It's right now it's called Daylighting 3. I don't know why that's the name of it, but it's being named to El Parque de la Cultura, which translates to Cultural Park, which will pay tribute to more than 20 Latin American countries represented in Yonkers. It will be the first bilingual sign installed in Yonkers, and it will honor Hispanic influences in the city of Yonkers. The park is located on the corner of Neppahan Avenue and New Main Street, and they will be having the press conference at 1 p.m. Tomorrow, Monday, October 21st. And I know she's not watching. October 21st, also the 35th birthday of my daughter, Paula Sherelle Whitson, turns 35 tomorrow. So shout out, love you, girl. Happy birthday ahead of time. I was trying to get Larnez to come on because talk about her article. She wrote an article about that movie, and Damon, there's been nothing but comments and praise about her coverage of that film. Like 18-something comments, like immediately, like all giving, talking about how deep it was and important her coverage. So I was trying to get her, but she just texted me back. I think she's at work, so she's not gonna be able to come on. But yeah, read her article again. That article is called, it's right there on the front page. Dear America, a letter from Black women. And she said it's a film that demands our attention. And they just had a screening at Riverfront Library in Yonkers in the past week or so, and she covered that for Black Westchester. So make sure you go and read that article, and like y'all did with that article, with all the content, make sure y'all leave comments, leave us your feedback, let us know what you think. It's important, you know what I'm saying, that we hear from y'all. So please leave comments and all that good stuff. Since we ain't got no more guests, unless you got too many more things to talk about, this is gonna be a short one today.
I just want to make it clear that this struggle is not a separate struggle. This it's a togetherness struggle. Sisters, we can't rise without you, and you can't rise without us. And I'm saying it because in a relationship, and AJ, you could, when a man and a woman is in a relationship, and the man is not being heard, he goes silent. He minds his damn business. And many women that might be watching, this might occur to you in your relationship. The man goes silent if he's not being heard in a relationship. We are in a relationship, Black man and woman, for our souls at this point. And we can't do it alone. Y'all can't do it without us, even though they tell you you might can. And we can't do it without you, even though there's some that say that we can. We're in this together. So when Black men are telling their grievances about how they have been treated through legislation and policy, we need you sisters to listen. We listen to you. We listen to you. To the point that we became silent because we're saying not all, we're going through the same thing. No, we don't have the same body parts. So the issues of reproductive, yes, that's an issue for women, but it's also an issue for men, for the Black man. It's also an issue for that. Hold on 1 second. It's also an issue for that. We are not, but the main goal is you have to understand the most threatening thing to America is the Black man. Is the Black man. And we have to do this together. They took us out of the homes for a reason. They created the welfare program and made sure that Black men wasn't in the homes for a reason. How many governmental reports to talk about the stability of the Black community should the government have when it always say Black family unit is what's needed? Us together, working together is what's needed. So when Black men discuss that there are policies, governmental policies that negatively affect our manhood and how we're supposed to be protectors and providers for our women and our children and our elderly, y'all bring up fucking Trump. Nobody cares about Trump. When we're trying to discuss, yes, we're going to vote for Kamala, but you're not listening. Who's that just popped in?
Who just popped in?
Somebody popped in. Who you said?
I don't know who that is. Melanie, Marcia, I don't know.
We're going to bring her in. Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Oh, did Tasha send you the link?
Yes, I got
well, you never told us that.
She did say something about the president of the. She did say something. She didn't tell us no names and that. So I'm sitting here like
we were about to sign off.
Yeah,
you got lucky because she ain't tell us you was coming on.
Someone just said, "Hey, there's a link here. They're talking about your film. Let's get on." I was like,
okay, your film. Okay.
Oh, Larnez, you know what? I was going back and forth with Larnez. She wrote an article. She was there. And she's the screening, and I was trying to get her to come on about it, and she's at work. And she sent me a text saying something about the going to send a link to the producer of the movie. That she did.
She did say that.
Yeah, she did.
Because I'm looking, I'm like, well, who just came?
She did text me that, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, oh, we talked about it. We about to sign off. And, I'm doing multiple things at once, so I didn't see.
Oh, like everybody else, so are we.
Welcome, first off,
welcome
to the
absolutely.
Show. And tell us your name, and you are the producer of the film. Let's talk about that.
Right. So, this journey started, last year when we were thinking about, how are we going to save democracy? We got to do something about it. And Chanel Barnes is the CEO of Project Ready. It's an organization that helps engage people in civic engagement, rather. And I'm just going to move a little bit here. And so we started to talk about how to activate, more people to register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, she had done a pop-up museum in Newark. And when she did that pop-up museum, she had started to she also did an activation with letters, getting letters from people of what they want from America. Dear America, what do you want? And it was called Dear America Newark. So after she did that, she said, well, how else can I have more impact besides these letters? What am I going to do with these letters? And she started thinking, well, let's, start to interview people. Then she talked to us about it. We're filmmakers here in Yonkers. Our company's called Freedom Studios. My partner and I were both Latinas, Afro-Colombian, and Julia is from Honduras. And so we've been filmmaking for years. I've been an advertising executive for over 40 years, and she's been at A&E Networks, FYI, Lifetime for years as well. But we broke out on our own. So this opportunity came and we said, hey, we want to do this. We want to talk to people. So we've started filming back in March, ended in June, and edited as quickly as possible. And in the middle of editing, we get the news that that we have a new candidate in the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm.
So again, our efforts was not about one party or another. It was about really getting more people involved in registering to vote, making sure our vote count. Through that, we interviewed Martin Luther King III. We interviewed his wife, Andrea Waters King, Latasha Brown, who's an activist, in Atlanta, Georgia. We've interviewed Ray King, Hill Harper, who's an actor and activist as well, and everybody's opinion and story about how they knew the history of the voting rights for Blacks, and even for us as Latinos, as you know, in the 60s, the civic rights. The Latinos were part of it as well, because I remember Martin Luther King also joined Dolores Huerta, Cesar Chavez on their fight for the farmers back in California. So it's been our fight. It's been all our fight with people of color. So with that said, we set out to do this documentary, getting everyone's story and opinion of the people that we all knew collectively. It's directed by Dana Offenbach. And it was a mix of women from Black, white, Latinas that put this film together. And we did a screening, a pre-screening, we're calling it, because, we're still looking for distribution. What's sad about it is that when you try to get distribution, they ask you like, okay, do you got a celebrity? Do you got this? Do you got that? And that's our challenge.
Right.
That's our challenge right now, is getting distribution. Perhaps a PBS might be interested or something like that, but the big names like Netflix or Hulu, they pass it up because, they see that we don't have a celebrity or something like that on it. But when you look at the film, it's very well made. It's, that's my opinion too, of course, but I'm still not sleeping, putting last minute touches, because there's still more work to do,
Right. So our sister that writes for us, Larnez Kinsley, she wrote a great review that got a lot of attention about the pre-screening, and has got a lot of comments in support of, thanking her for her words and what she wrote about it. So I was definitely trying to get her to come on and talk more about it. But you're the producer. That's even better. So
Right.
So it was Dear America, a letter from Black women.
That's correct. And my name's Mei Ling Macias Toro. The other Freedom Studios partner is Julia Carrillas Linares. The executive producer comes from Project Ready in Newark. Like I said, it's a nonprofit organization who tries to register voters and get voter commitments. We also, our effort has a website that people can go to and find where else we're viewing it. So you can go to thedearamericaproject.com and find more information about the efforts that we're doing. We're trying to sign up 100,000 women that can commit to voting. That's our goal. And we're heading this week, we're heading to New York City Chiefs Clubhouse, which is a clubhouse of C-suite women. We've invited a lot of African-American women that are CEOs, entrepreneurs, so we could show that we also have CEOs in our Black women and women of color. And then following the next day, we're actually going to be taping the Here and Now ABC show on the 23rd. And that night we go to Philadelphia to two separate venues. And we're splitting our team to be at the same time in two separate screenings. And then we're going to Baton Rouge, New Orleans next week. And we're working our way to Los Angeles thereafter.
If you can see on the screen, is that thedearamerica.com? Is that what you see?
Yeah, the Dear America Project.
Oh, project. Okay.
We got to add project.com and it'll pop up.
That's why I wanted to make sure I was giving the right information.
That's right.
Project.com.
Right. And we list all the places where we're at. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 more venues coming up. And we're going to go until the day of the election. We're going to keep going. And we're already getting signed up to do viewings after election. There's people that want to do like a curriculum with the film because they found it so educational and so giving of info.
I have our sister Tasha Young. She was on earlier. She came on to talk about Proposition 1 and the importance of voting, and she's fighting for the importance of voting. So this is the producer, Tasha, of the film Dear, what was it called?
Dear America, a letter from Black women. Hi, Tasha.
Yes. So I brought her in to join the conversation. So she just came back. I didn't know if you were aware of the film, if you saw it, and if you had any comments about the film.
I'm very aware of the film. I did see some of it. It's an excellent, excellent film. I recommend it to everyone. And I will be one of those people that want to host something after the election because we really need to continue this conversation. Black women have contributed so much, and we're so much more impactful when we work together and when we speak with one strong voice on what it is that we want back from America.
And that's what the film is about as well. That everyone at the end, we ask, what would you want from America? And you see graphically, you do see people saying, Dear America, I want this and that. And you see a script writing of that wish that we want from America. You know, Chanel Barnes, our executive producer, was just awarded from the Rockefeller Foundation the Democracy Award for the efforts that she's pulled together, not only with the movie, but we also are on iHeartRadio at 8 a.m. on Sundays.
Oh, nice.
Hearing additional voices.
Talk about, you mentioned Freedom Studios. That's in Yonkers. Just for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about Freedom Studios.
So Freedom Studios is a production and media company. And what we do is we look for stories that are thought-provoking, that really focus on social change. I've been doing advertising for 40 years plus, And I've been promoting beer and liquor and pharmaceuticals all my life, you know. And I want to get back to the day to day. Plus, I volunteered all my life, so there is a service side of me that I've done all my life. I
need you to pick your brain on the advertising part. We need to get more advertising. I need to pick your brain a little bit. We'll have to pick your brain in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. You know, I've been doing that for a long time, and then we wanted to do stories. We want to do TV series. We have a Fix Mi Casa TV series that we've been working on. It's a couple, and it's my partner too. She's a filmmaker, but she's also a designer. So she has the show that we've been developing and also have shot and have episodes ready to go. So that's Fix Mi Casa. We have this documentary film. We're working on additional Dear Americas, like, for example, Dear America, a letter from the immigrant, a letter from Black men, a letter from children, a letter from our youth. So we want to expand on that particular effort. And
anything we could do with the letter from Black men, please contact us. Please let us know.
Yes,
any involvement.
Yeah, I already got a whole bunch of letters I can send you.
I love that. Can you guys tell me? I mean, this is the first time I'm in this show, and Tasha, I'm so glad to see you.
Oh my God, yes, you too.
The reviews from Yonkers were just out of this world.
That's great. That's great.
The Deltas, the AKA showed up. Andrea Stewart Cousins, our senator showed up. You know, the president of the council. It was just, my heart just melted when I saw my family.
Yes.
You know, I saw my family. Everybody was there, and it was just, they just could not believe the work that was done. That something like that was being shown, you know, at a Yonkers public library like that. Yeah, especially at this time, right?
Yeah, so timely. I don't know if you already mentioned Simra's role in the film.
Simra's role in the film is out of this world. And in the feature, she just comes back and talks about the loss with Andrea Cousins with over 18 votes.
Right.
And that comes out so natural for her. She talks about her first time being in government because she was the first Black woman in government. And it was just so wonderful to hear her perspective and her history, right? And we see so unassuming Simra,
right?
And then when you really, really pick those parts from Simra out, it was just amazing.
They're both in my book. Black Westchester Celebrates Black Women of Westchester. They're both, Simra and Andrea are both in the book. But about us, we're a Black Westchester newspaper, online show, website, celebrating our 10-year anniversary. The news with the Black point of view, you know, and this is our show, People Before Politics, giving you real talk for the community. So we just been doing this, changing the narrative of how we're portrayed in the media, holding our elected officials' feet to the fire, you know, fighting for the wrongfully incarcerated and everybody, all those who can't fight for themselves. We try to fight for as many of them. And that's what we've been doing for 10 years strong. And we're still standing and trying to continue to stand. And everything is free. We you know, advertising and donations. So we don't charge people for the radio show. We don't put up a paywall on the website so you can read the news. The newspaper is a community paper. We give it out free. So, you know, the information trickles down to our communities where it normally doesn't trickle down to. So that's only made possible for those who advertise and make donations to keep us, so we can keep it free for the community. So
you got me. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's what, and like I said, we have a lot of people who believe in what we do, like the young lady Larnez Kinsley, who wrote the article. She was there and she wrote the article and we published it. And she's in the picture with y'all and Simra and that's in the thing. And you know, she's been doing some writings. I think she does some writing for a Harlem community paper too. And she always looks out with anything local she brings to us. So we've been getting love from, people that volunteer and love what we're doing. And we can't be everywhere. So, she covers stuff like that for us. So like Tasha's been involved with Black Westchester for a while and has been a co-host on the show and everything. So we have a lot of people in our community that have looked at. Lorraine Lopez from Yonkers was our longest co-host on the show. Yeah. So
Cynthia Turnquest
Jones was our first. Yes. She was our first co-host. She was on with us for at least the first 100 or so shows. We're up to this is 411 right now. Yeah, so
that's pretty cool. I definitely love to hear more about it. I'm definitely gonna. I had to get the app and everything all in seconds, but I'm down to hear this. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So it's a long, interesting story.
Yeah.
I actually
got a. Wait a minute. Hold on.
My first book I wrote about it. It's called Black Westchester, the origin story.
Wait, hold on, AJ, stop. We're talking to a filmmaker.
Right.
We already got a treatment for the movie of what we got. We got to
So yes, we my first book is Black Westchester, the origin story, and how my faith was instrumental in this great experiment. It tells the whole story, the trials and tribulations that we went through, going up against elected officials and one dude that was behind an elected official that was mob affiliated, and how our story helped take that down and all that. And someone believed in us and they put up some money for.
Just say the name.
I don't know if she wants her name said, but Roz.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay, I already said it now. Roz Abrams believed in our story and put up some money for a screenplay, and we're at that point now. Like we got the first draft, we got to go through it and get the write up. So that's where we are right now with it. But my book, for everybody who hasn't got it, is Black Westchester Origin Stories, all over Amazon, or you can contact me on social media for an autograph copy. And I have
Thank you.
So yeah.
Would love that. And so we're also on iHeartRadio, and actually we wanted to do a show with men and especially right before the election and see your perspective on everything that's going on and see what your hope is, what your wish is as well.
Right. I'm down for. I'm
always down for all of that. I've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks.
So. Yes.
After the Obama so-called lecture or talk or whatever he wanted to call himself doing the black men, and we did a show on it. We actually did a show and discussing it. And one of my main concerns when they talk about the disenfranchisement of black men, and I talked to Tasha about this too. I said, look, one of the things for me that took me back. I don't know if you know the story of Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. He was an elderly man. He had some mental illness, and he set off his life alert pendant by mistake. White Plains police came
for a welfare check. And after an hour taunting him, making fun of him, they ended up killing him.
Oh, Lord. And
they called him the N-word 3 times, and it was recorded on audio. And they did a movie about it. It's called if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's called The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain.
And Frankie Faison plays Kenneth Chamberlain.
Yeah, Frankie Faison plays Kenneth Chamberlain.
Oh, wow.
What I saw with the response of the local leaders and pastors was horrendous. The family could not get not one elected official to stand with them and denounce the actions of White Plains police. And Tasha will verify this. The pastors, black pastors, the quote unquote ones in Westchester with the names, famous ones, were ghosts, nowhere to be found. Right? But when a swastika was written on a dumpster, it was standing room only. They're squeezing to get into the photo op.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what does that tell black men? What message are you giving to black men? That law enforcement can come and call an elderly man the N-word on audio.
Mock his military history.
Mock his military history. And kill him.
And he's a former correction officer, so he was law enforcement.
He was law enforcement and military.
Not only that, you tase him, you shoot him with bean bags, and then you kill him.
No way.
And we couldn't get black male, especially black male elected officials to come out and stand with us, because any given day it could have been them.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
the only person who used their celebrity in her last days, Ruby D.
Yeah, but that's
I'm just saying. No, but I'm just saying.
Right, there's a lot of celebrity people. Yeah. What I'm talking about is our elected officials.
Right.
About those that we vote for, those that we put in our trust, and we could, and the family, those who surrounded, couldn't get them to come out in public, but yet in private, oh no, he doesn't need that. He needed that public support. That what White Plains Police Department did was wrong. So my thing is, what message are you giving to black men?
Right.
What message are you giving to them?
Right.
But yet is a swastika on a dumpster more important than a black man?
That's right.
So we have to ask, we got to talk about this, and then they wonder, why is all this going on? And I said earlier to AJ, a lot of times in a relationship, right, man and woman, if the man has problems, he goes silent. He doesn't talk anymore. He sits in his corner, he watch TV, watch football. But politically, that's what black men have done. We have went silent because we haven't been heard.
Right.
Mental illness is rampant.
Yes.
And nobody's talking about black men.
Right.
Until now. But they're not discussing solutions. They're saying, well, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're anti-women. No, dude, that's not the issue. The issue is we've been suffering and y'all haven't been listening to us.
Right. That's right.
That's the issue.
That's right. And you got to get a commitment. You got to get your voice heard.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And there are some people, and before you popped in, I was saying, we're in this together, black men and women.
Right.
And women.
We're in this together.
That's
so
right.
when we're voicing our opinion, don't tell us we're supporting Trump. No, that's not the issue. We're saying, look, we want to vote, but we're suffering.
That's right.
So when are you going to address our suffering? Because if we're not, we'll just stay home.
No, this is the time. This is the time we got to speak up.
Exactly. And that's
the
what I'm
time.
saying.
And in community, right?
We're offering that platform too.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're saying. Yeah. And I think it's just that simple, but we have to have the honest and the hard conversations that we're in this together. Mm-hmm. We're suffering. Look, black people, black men and women, we ain't going nowhere. We all we got.
That's
we all are.
We all we got, and we have to learn that, and we have to work that together. That we're all we got.
Right. Absolutely. And that same community building, right? Because just like how we're experiencing this, I've been with black women all weekend and it's been great, and I'm like, yeah, we can do it, let's do it. We got it. And we need that with one another, and black men need that separate from us, to talk about issues that they don't want to talk about in front of women.
Right.
But then we need the together thing too.
And then we need that. Yeah, it's community. It's community.
Right. Exactly.
Because once you get in community, you hear other people say, you know what, you're right. You know what, I experienced that too. You know what, where'd you go to, do whatever the way you did it? Exactly. I never knew you felt the same way I felt.
Exactly.
Like all these things come up. And without community, you think you're just like a lone wolf, just out there kind of feeling whatever you're feeling by yourself. But when you get in community and you realize, oh, this one feels the same way. Okay, I belong here.
Right.
It's funny that you said that, piggybacking on what both of y'all said about the silence of black men, is because no one sees, like David said, no one feels our pain. We're suffering in silence. And sometimes because we're not talking, we don't know that we're not the only one going through some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's like, we're not like, yo, you know, there's a lot of things. Me and Damon live 2 different lives, but we'd be talking and I'd be sitting here like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be making, I talk to other brothers that make me like, yo, okay, so I'm not the only one dealing with this, or I'm not the only one got a family member dealing with this, or something like that, or, you know, a person in my block dealing with this.
That's right.
You see, you're not alone in it, and there's not a lot of venues to let Black men express themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's, you know, so
just to get Black men to express themselves.
Oh yeah. First off,
that's the other thing.
That's what. So once you talk and nobody's hearing you, you're like, oh man, why am I even going to talk? You go back to not saying anything, and everybody thinks everything's all good with us.
Until it's not.
You gotta change that. I for one want to hear more.
Suicide among Black men is skyrocketing.
Yeah,
it's nobody's talking about it. It's skyrocketing because they have no outlet.
Mental health. The mental health is just so sad.
Yeah, and that has to be
addressed.
It really has to be addressed, and it really has to put forward. You know, I love what sisters are doing, but where you going with no Black man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being straight, easy, and honest. Where you going?
Not far, because our daddies, our spouses, and our sons, and our brothers and uncles.
Exactly.
We want to go with them.
Where you going? Where you going?
You know, when we were in North Carolina, that's one of the things, and I made it into a joke, but I was serious. I was like, ladies, talk to your man, talk to your father, talk to your brother, talk to your son. And you gotta tell them that this is not about just us. It's a pack.
Right.
We have to move like a pack.
Right.
You can't be moving alone here. Mm-hmm. And then the guys were like, what you mean by that? I said, well, these women have to talk to you and also bring you in and bring you into the conversation. Mm-hmm. What is going on with you? I just asked you guys. You asked me. I jumped in. Yeah, but I want to know about you. I want to know what's going on with you.
Exactly. But we out here doing it. You know,
I love it. Off air, I would love to continue this conversation in any kind of way we can collaborate together on something of this nature. I mean,
we're
all for that.
See, I run my mouth, so whenever you need somebody to talk about it,
I hear that.
I'm an open. So
where can I reach you guys? Because now you're gonna have to send me your numbers, or Tasha. Send me their number, Tasha.
Yeah, Tasha.
Tasha got our numbers. She got all our numbers. Yeah,
I got all the numbers.
I need those numbers because that's our next one. Hearing from Black men, we need to hear from them now.
Yeah. Tasha, I run my mouth, and sometimes my mouth get me in trouble, but it's okay.
We have somebody else, Marisa Fasad.
Oh, Marisa Fasad is.
Oh man, there's somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh man,
welcome to the
club. Marisa Fasad is my girl.
Okay, welcome to the show. I don't know how long you've been sitting there.
Thank you. No, we just got on. Thank you. We're actually at a bar, but we couldn't miss your show.
Oh, y'all at a bar?
In touch with us. I called Maylene. I said, no, we got to jump on your show. And we're like gigolos after Maylene and Julia. All right.
I'm not on it. Hi, everyone. Congratulations.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
I'm Betty.
How you doing, Betty?
Betty from Iran. I love her. But we'll be there, Julia. I'm Maylene on Tuesday. We'll be there in the city supporting you all the way. All right?
Thank you. So these ladies are going to the screening that we're having on Tuesday, October 22nd at Chiefs Clubhouse.
Yes.
So Tasha, you got another chance.
Okay.
Where's that at? What city? Where's that at? Chiefs Clubhouse.
That's in New York City, 13 East 19th Street.
Okay.
So that's the next viewing that we have here in New York City. The next one after that is Louisiana. Like I said, Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And then we're settling on something in LA. We do have Bloomfield wants it. What's going on is a lot of the townships, want to have their own screening. So we're trying to make our way as much as possible before the elections, but now people are putting dates after the election. And Natasha, to your point, it's going to be viable that way as well. So
absolutely,
we can do it and keep it going.
Definitely would like to encourage another Westchester screening, because definitely,
yes,
I know a lot of people read the article that missed it, did not know about it, and wish they could have.
And now they wish they could see it. I hear, that's definitely. But the Yonkers venue is just a great venue. It had enough space to really welcome people in, and
that's the Riverfront Library, right? They do great presentations there.
It was really worth it. It was really fun. So we'll work on that, and I thank you guys for your time. I do need your information.
I'm getting water.
Tasha, send our information.
I will. And before you guys go, can we talk about prop? I'm so sorry, I had technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, you got to finish.
You got to finish.
Yeah,
finish it up, Tasha.
Okay, thank you. So,
should I stay on? You want?
Yeah, you can stay on. You can stay on.
Okay.
All of my devices are tired of me. I've been in like a mobile office for the past month, but sorry about that. So, Prop 1 is an amendment to our New York State Constitution.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Yes, and it's going to be the flip side of the ballot. So you have to vote for whoever you're going to vote for elected office, and then flip over the ballot. It's a state ballot initiative, proposal 1. So you want to vote yes on the state ballot proposal. This will expand equal rights for all New Yorkers. We are eliminating discrimination based on anything that you could imagine. But at the center of it is protecting our reproductive health rights. No one can be discriminated for how they choose to get pregnant or any pregnancy outcome. So this is our way of really, codifying in our Constitution protection for abortion. Why New York? A lot of people are like, oh, New York is a blue state. Why are we doing this in New York? Well, depending on who the governor is or who is running the legislature will determine whether or not our reproductive rights are protected. So we don't want to leave it in the hands of politicians, to Damon's point. Politicians, they go by the wind sometime. We don't, and New York State almost had a Republican governor who came within 5 points. And it's not even about parties. It's about people that believe in freedom and rights. So this particular governor gubernatorial candidate who ran against Governor Hochul was very anti-abortion. And New York's only been in Democratic control since 2018.
That was what, Lee Zeldin? Was that Lee Zeldin?
Yeah, it was Zeldin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Andrea's only been in, we only had a Democratic Senate majority since 2018. In the 2000s.
That's right.
In the 2000s.
It took that long. Mm-hmm.
It took that long. I mean, we've had Republican led Senate.
Is this Swiss?
Just wanted to add on. Can I piggyback on you? What you just said?
Absolutely. Go ahead, girl.
Yes,
go ahead.
So every Sunday, so we have a coffee get together. We give out the flyers, vote 1. And every Sunday there's a group of women all over Eastchester. There's a farmer's market and you see them. They're giving out flyers. They're working their butts off. Our Garth Road East building has 164 apartments. We have covered every single apartment. So yes, we're really pushing it here in Westchester for that. Yeah, it's very, very important. A pleasure meeting you. And I just want to make a toast to you ladies and your gentlemen too. Yes, God bless you. More power to you.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you. And one more time, Tasha, I'm just going to read this, what I read earlier. This is the New York State Equal Protection Amendment, New York State Form of Submission of Proposal Number 1, an amendment to protect against unequal treatment. The proposal would protect against unequal treatment based on ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, and sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, and pregnancy. It also protects against unequal treatment based on reproductive health care and autonomy. A yes vote puts these protections in the New York State Constitution. A no vote leaves these protections out of the state constitution. So
exactly.
that's what that's about. It's on the back of your ballot, so you need to turn your ballot over. And again, I was telling Damon, it's good that, and Cynthia Turnquest Jones had called me earlier. It's good we have these conversations now, because a lot of times when we have these propositions, people don't find out till they get to the ballot box, and the person who handed them the slip told them, "Oh, don't forget to turn to the back." And they're seeing it for the first time, and they go, "Oh, what's that? Is this good or not? How are we voting for this?" So it's good that we have as many of these conversations ahead of time, so that we have more informed voters going into the ballot box.
So we are organizing all over the state. I, will be posting on social media and emailing people. We're looking for volunteers that we will have outside of the polling places on E-Day. We can be 100 feet away, and we can ask everybody to turn over the ballot and vote yes on Prop 1. We will be handing out literature, and we're also looking to man early voting stations. So it's not a big task. There's enough of us that can do it. Just tell your friends, 2-hour shift to get people to vote yes on Prop 1.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's
AJ?
it. That's it. I think we're coming to the end of the show. Is there any last words? Anybody? Any last words?
Well, I'd like to add that the Dear America letter from Black women also is working on an agenda to a policy agenda, so that, all of the panel conversations that we have, we're taking, notes. We're doing a survey that's being followed up after the viewings. And with this survey, we're taking note to see how we can also affect policy.
Definitely coming Tuesday. I'll see you.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you. Any last words, Damien?
Yeah. Make sure everybody tune in tomorrow from the Publisher's Desk. We'll be talking about the impact of Hamas leaders Yahya Sinwar's death and the war in Gaza. Make sure y'all check out tomorrow 8 p.m. And don't forget, the fragrance of the day is Latafa Pride Pizza. Sisters, if you want something to get your man or your boyfriend or your husband or your uncle or whatever, we're going to have the link. The link's going to be in the show, and we're going to have the link up. Matter of fact, we're going to do a whole new section on Balling with the Budget, so people can get the links and get these.
Yeah, I'm single and ready to mingle. So yeah,
I know that's right.
I'm ready.
Make sure he smell like this. This is a great set. So check this out, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 p.m.
I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't leave without doing this. I want to thank Black Westchester and the people before politics for all of the support that you gave to our Congressman Jamal Bowman, talking about Black men sticking together and really getting in the trenches with us. As someone who was on the campaign, it meant so much to have that oneness of it was just a great campaign. I mean, we brought together people that were Jewish, people that were Muslim, people that were young, people that were old, people that were Black, people that were white, people that were rich, people that were poor. And we just, we were in the trenches. We were in the trenches.
It was a campaign that actually reflected America.
It actually reflected America.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to, because we could be here another hour. That's all I'm going to say. It was a campaign that actually reflected America.
I said this at the end of the campaign.
How y'all feel about it?
I said this at the end of the campaign to a lot of the coalition. We build a coalition. Let's not wait to another election to work together. We formed this coalition. There's a lot of things we can do between now and the next election, creating some kind of strategic power political base. And we need to continue to work on that. And I'm definitely open to that. And we've definitely spoke about that with some of the people. But I want to keep putting that out there once or twice. Just remind people this didn't end with the election. We need to continue on and be prepared for the next election and build our base. So,
And vote local elections. Local elections.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It all connects. It all connects.
Absolutely. with that, we coming to the end of another show. You tuned into Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show, episode 411, celebrating 10 years of Real Talk for the community, celebrating our 10-year anniversary. If you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, make sure you subscribe. The link at the bar at the bottom is how you can donate or email to take out advertising, which helps us keep all of this free for the community. And then, unless Damon got anything else, until next week.
Now let's go.
All right.
See y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Bye. God bless. Bye.
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 22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.